Hello, friends, and welcome back to Malicious Compliance Stories. Another mad customer who can drive anyone crazy. Good story to start our video today. But before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you're new here and turn on notifications so you don't miss a new video every single day. Here we go. I'm sorry I'm pregnant. My summer job is working at a retail store in the lawn and garden department. They have many heavy bags of soil and fertilizer that many customers need help loading into their cars. I'm 38 weeks pregnant, and so I'm not allowed to lift anything above 30 pounds. Here's how an interaction went yesterday with a customer. C. Excuse me, I need 12 of these 40-pound bags of topsoil loaded into my cart. Me. Okay, I'll go grab somebody to help you. It'll be just a moment as I'm the only one back here, so I need to page for someone to come. C. I don't have time for you to call someone. I need help now. Why can't you lift them? Me, smiling while glancing down at myself. Sir, I'm 38 weeks pregnant and I'm not allowed to lift anything over 30 pounds. C. You don't look pregnant. Besides, my wife was lifting way more than 30 pounds when she was pregnant up until the day she delivered. I'm disabled, and so I have a real reason why I can't lift these. Just pile them in my cart so I can be on my way. Me. Like I said before, I'll be right back so I can page someone to come help you. They'll come quick and be able to assist both you with loading them into your cart and into your car. C. Fine. But what's your name so I can talk to a manager about you? They'll want to know that you aren't helping customers. Me. My name's OP, and I can also page a manager to come right over too. C. Good, do that. So I walked over to the phone and paged both a stockman and a manager. Both came within 5 minutes. I hear the customer going on about how I refused to help him and how he's disabled and deserves to be treated better. The manager apologized, but explained that I am indeed pregnant and can't lift those big bags. The customer suggested that I be transferred to a different department where I'm able to assist every customer with everything, especially helping disabled people. Oh, I'll try, sir. Really, I will. Especially since I'm a high school special education teacher during the school year. And our second story. Park in front of my driveway, blocking my mom's exit? Okay. So a little backstory. My mom used to leave for work every day when I was a kid, so my driveway was used a lot. So my family lives next to these douchebag neighbors, shortened to DBN for time. They would blast music and have tons of loud parties late at night, and because of these large parties, their driveway would fill up quickly. Sometimes DBN would come over to our house and knock on the door asking if they could use some of our driveway for their friends to park on. For reference, my family's driveway is set up like where the driveway's leading up to our garage, but just before that it splits and goes alongside my house, giving us an outside parking area. This is where DBN wanted his friends to park. So one night after my mom has come home, my family starts hearing loud dubstep music coming from DBN's house. My family and I decide not to think anything of it and continue on with the night. By around 1 a.m., the music dies down. So my mom wakes up the next morning. She'd parked her car in the garage that night because of rain the next day. My mom opens the garage door to a small BMW M5 in a nice icy blue color blocking her exit. And because of this, she can't go to work unless the car is moved. So my mom walks over to DBN's house and knocks on his door. No answer. She knocks again. No answer. She assumes that DBN is blacked out from his partying. Keep in mind, no other cars are in our driveway anymore, so the blue M5 has to be DBN. Also, because she's seen this car in DBN's driveway. As my mom is walking away from DBN's house, the front door opens, and out steps half-awake DBN. The following conversation is as described by my mom. Douchebag neighbor equals DBN, mom equals M. DBN. What do you want? In a half-awake, groggily voice. Mom. Oh, I think you left your car in my driveway from last night. Also, why is it parked in my driveway? DBN. You said I could put cars in your driveway. Mom. No, I didn't. I told you that your friends can park in that little extra part of my driveway. Anyways, you're parked in front of my garage. DBN, stop complaining, just drive around my car. Slams the door. My mom is now pissed. She's the person who would go lengths for revenge on people. She's like, oh, you want to play that game? It's on. My mom goes on her computer and looks up the nearest towing company, gives them a call, and they're here in half an hour. Once they pull up to DBN's car, they instantly recognize it. They said DBN has been towed many, many times by many, many people, so they just hook up his car and take it to the lot. Later on, my mom figured out that DBN had to pay around $150 to $200 to get his car back. He's never asked to park in our driveway again. Now my mom tells this story at family events and gets a good laugh. And our last story. Now my 3 bosses are fired. A few years ago, I was sitting in a job interview and the hiring manager asked, "What do you consider the greatest accomplishment of your career?" This gave me pause as I've been doing the same thing for over 25 years. I let the mists of memory transport me back in time. Dorian, the nurse manager. Kip, the program manager. Dr. Steve, the clinical director. Yes, I had 3 bosses. I started on the unit as an already seasoned, jaded RN, and soon discovered that most staff who worked there were very, very young and inexperienced. For many, this was their first real job. They assumed all the weird stuff that happened every day was just normal for the workplace. Dorian had decreed that no one was allowed to write incident reports for med errors or safety issues because it makes me look bad in safety huddle. Non-clinical staff allowed to pass meds, schedule changes without notice. Additionally, the department was easily the most toxic I've ever worked in, with various cliques at constant war with one another. I could go on and on. The troubles began one day when I opened my email to a message from Dorian which stated very curtly that I was being investigated for an incident which had happened on the unit, that I was to meet with HR to discuss it, and for possible disciplinary action. I was not to discuss the incident with anyone. No date was given, no medical record number, no indication what the issue could be. I replied that I would need the above information, would speak with my union rep, and meet at a time convenient for me. Dorian declined to give information. I declined to meet with him. I began receiving emails almost daily, each more threatening than the last. I printed them all, contacted my sister, the employment attorney, tried not to start shaking whenever I had to check my email. I was keenly aware that this is Intimidation 101, but it's remarkably effective, even when you know that. Because I'm not a direction follower, I was soon discussing this in the break room, and before I knew it, had been approached by 3 other women who'd all received the same email on the same day. Comparison showed the emails being sent about a minute apart. We did not work the same shifts nor the same days. We agreed to call in the union rep and refused to meet with HR. Dorian continued to escalate, including cornering us in the hall, stepping in chest to chest and trying to stare us down. He was a very big guy. Before long, we were speaking to more and more women, and it came to light that Dorian had a habit of targeting them with this exact email, followed by others that were more and more threatening until the person would finally meet with HR, get written up for something vague, and then be forced to sign a non-disclosure/no retaliation agreement. It seemed that he had simply picked the wrong 4 women this time because we were not having it. I can't tell you how much time at work began to be spent with people crying while recounting their stories. None had thought to call in the union rep. They didn't even know their Weingarten rights. We began to plot. We had limited time, and our company has a long and unglamorous history of protecting people like this. Before long, the entire team was united against the common enemy. Staff who were immigrants made statements about racial slurs. A staffer who was incredibly petty and vindictive had been compiling a dossier on every perceived policy violation and wrongdoing on Dorian's part since his hiring date, and he prepped it for presentation to HR. The graveyard shift, all huge men, said, obviously Dorian isn't trying to flex on us, but we want to help. So they spent a couple of nights cruising Dorian's social media posts and capturing screenshots of homo, trans, xenophobic, and misogynistic content. Worried that they hadn't done enough, the night staff paid for a cheap background check, and what a score. DUI, failure to appear, hit and run, domestic violence, assault with a deadly weapon. Did the company not do a background check? WTF. We were ready. We flooded HR with meeting requests, and our union rep coordinated the assault so that on Monday we met for simple harassment and intimidation. I met first, and HR seemed unimpressed by my complaint. Tuesday, all staff subjected to racial slurs made their formal complaints. They said that the HR lady looked tired. Wednesday started with the background check, moved into the minutia of policy violations, and culminated with well-documented quid pro quo harassment. The union rep informed HR that the union's attorney was eager to know how to proceed. HR assured her that that would not be necessary. That evening, Dorian posted a sign on his office door saying he would be away for a few days and to contact Kip or Dr. Steve if we needed anything. Graveyard Shift reported that over the weekend, housekeeping came and removed everything from his office except his name tag, which the night staff took as a trophy. On Monday at shift change, the CNO, COO, and HR met with the team and informed us that effective immediately, Dorian was no longer employed by the hospital. We all sat silently and politely until they exited the unit, when a loud and spontaneous cheer went up. People were hugging each other and cry-laughing, high fives all around. Aftermath. To the best of my knowledge, Dorian never worked as an RN again. Frankly, I don't care. Kip was fired 3 days later for having been aware of all that was going on and turning a blind eye. Dr. Steve was also fired for harassment. The unit hired an old manager of mine who was also a terrible person. I quit within days of him being offered the job. The department foray into getting along crumbled. Most of the staff had moved on to other jobs where they seemed much happier. What do you consider the greatest accomplishment of your career? I sat up straight, smiled, and said, I took a very fractured team and brought them together to achieve a common goal. I like to think I'm really good at team building. It's amazing to me that all it took was one person to be vocal and lead the change. Hey guys, thank you all for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one.